What's going on, guys? It's Rad Visuals here, and I'm coming at you with my first custom unofficial LEGO minifigure showcase video. These are all my unofficial figures. Some of them I have not, or a lot of them I have not made, a lot of them I have bought online or at comic conventions, but some of them are custom minifigures, and I'm just going to showcase them to you. Stay tuned until the end of the video for a special Spider-Man Far From Home black suit Spider-Man custom. So, yeah. Alright, so the first figure I'm going to be reviewing here is the Alan Scott version of the Green Lantern from the Golden Age comics. This is one of my favorite figures personally. It's really comic accurate, has the boots and everything, has the original Green Lantern symbol, has his purple mask. It even has the purple cape on the outside, and on the inside of his cape it's green. So that's really fantastic. The hair is also really accurate. I think I already talked about the mask, but let me just show you the back of it as well. It has back printing as well, and back printing on the boots. So just all around a really great figure, and I would highly recommend this one. Very, very reasonably priced as well. And so yeah. So next up we have another member of the Justice Society, Dr. Fate. This is also a really cool figure. This has his gold helmet, but it's reflective kind of thing. Sort of hard to film with if you don't want to, or if you got to try to not get your hands in the reflection of the helmet or anything. You can see right now you got to really put your hands away for it to look good, but still a really awesome helmet. And of course the figure is awesome, very accurate to the comic as well. Has back printing and back printing on the legs as well. So again, this is another figure that's very reasonably priced, and I would highly recommend it as well. Alright, so this is a figure that I made myself. I think it's okay. You know, obviously a huge part of it is his torso here. That's kind of what brings a lot of the figures together. And this one doesn't have the best torso. This is just a little decal from an old Shazam figure that I have since disposed of, I guess. But a pretty simple design. It looks like the comic, I guess. Kind of has an older face, since the whole Justice Society is supposed to be a group of older heroes, kind of thing. It's from the I think one of the Nova Corps sets in the first Guardians of the Galaxy line of sets. There used to be a face on the back, but I scraped it off with scissors, very carefully, I guess. And this was the helmet of a knight, and it had something, I don't know what it was, like all siding around it kind of thing, but I cut that off, and you can see scrape marks on the helmet from me trying to cut it off, but I figured in a video I just put it on, and you probably wouldn't see that so much. So this is very easy to make, obviously. Not the best figure. I'm definitely looking for a better version that's reasonably priced. But I think it's okay enough to use in videos, personally. Should I make a Justice Society video? And next up we have another member of the Justice Society. I think this is my last Justice Society custom. This is Atom Smasher. This was a little bit more expensive, but very, very good quality. I've had it for close to 4 years now, and nothing's chipped, nothing's faded. I've animated with it. It's been great. There's no back printing, unfortunately, but I think the figure is still awesome, even without that. The printing's a little bit shifted on the legs here, but I don't think it's a huge thing. I'm not someone who's really picky about that kind of stuff. I more just want a cool looking figure for a video, like an animation, something like that. Again, should a Justice Society figure be, or a Justice Society video rather, be released, I will for sure use this figure. Now switching it up a bit with a Marvel figure. This is the Netflix version of Daredevil. The legs are not the original legs that came with the figure. The legs that came with the figure were sort of bent and very stiff, very hard to move. So I swapped them out for the original legs that Star-Lord had in the first line of the Guardians of the Galaxy sets. Those are very useful. Or they've turned out to be very useful, the old Guardians of the Galaxy sets for customs. All the rest is not mine. Well, these little sticks I cut up, and so I guess they're mine, but the torso, the head, arms, hands are not mine. The printing is very accurate to the TV show, and I think looks great. The face, I think, looks pretty awesome as well. A pretty cool figure. I used it in my how Lego Avengers Endgame should have ended. Link to that video will be in the description below. Please consider checking it out. And yep. Alright, so next up we have Daredevil's, or one of Daredevil's main enemies, Bullseye. I think this figure is okay. I like the printing on the torso and everything. I would have liked it a bit more if he had boots, but I still think it's a pretty cool figure. My biggest problem with it, however, is the skin tone of the face. It's like a grayish sort of hue, when I would like it to be more pinkish, like actual skin. So next we're back to DC with Kid Flash here, the Wally West version. This figure I would not recommend. I realize that a ton of people have this figure, and when you first get it, it looks great. But I've had this figure for maybe close to 4 years. I got it around the same time that I got the Atom Smasher figure that was mentioned earlier in the video. But this one just has not held up well at all. There used to be printing on where his chest is. You can see a little bit. That's completely faded on this side here, and it's fading on the other side. Printing on his eyes and on his mask there is fading. Printing on the symbol is fading there as well. So just not, and this figure I haven't even used in any sort of animation. I've never animated with it before, and it's just been sitting there basically and has faded. So if I had actually used it, I could imagine what would happen. So not a very durable figure, but if you just need it for a video really quickly or something like that, this is a decent figure to use at first. And next up we have Nightwing. This is with the blue version of the costume, not the red one. This is a pretty cool figure, I think. He has a very unique face. I used his face for Adam Warlock in my How Lego Avengers Endgame Should Have Ended. Again, link in the description for that. But the torso looks pretty cool, and the face looks pretty cool as well. That's really the only new thing about this figure. So, yep. Alright, so this is one of the two versions that I have of Roy Harper. This is Roy Harper in the storyline with Prometheus, where Prometheus kind of ripped his arm off, and he got this pretty cool gold arm. Yeah, this is just a decal. The torso is just, and this is a pretty old decal. I would say this is about 6 years old. The face is from an Arsenal figure that I'm going to show you in a minute, and the gold arm. Or I guess just several years ago, there was this Mr. Gold, find this figure called Mr. Gold at the Lego store. But of course I didn't find that, but what they did have is they sold keychains of Mr. Gold. So I quickly saw that you could, take off the arm or legs if you wanted to and just use them on other figures. And that's what I did. So I have 2 gold arms. I actually used the 2 gold arms for my Iron Man figure in both of my Avengers videos. Again, links to those will be in the description. And yeah, so I think the gold arm is what really excuse me, the gold arm is what really makes this figure awesome. And yeah, look out for a Green Arrow video at the end of July. Alright, so this is my second Roy Harper figure. This is from the Arrowverse version of him. I like this figure a lot more personally. Just the printing on it is really clean and crisp and good quality as well. The mask looks fantastic. I like how they sort of they made the red brighter than in the show. I like the vibrancy of the colors. because I found that the Roy Harper on the show had a very dark red to his costume, and I like that they added a bit more comic book vibes kind of thing in this figure. And the printing around the legs as well is really crisp, really clean. So, and this is also very reasonably priced, so I would for sure recommend this figure. Alright, so next up we have Green Arrow here from the Arrowverse, or the Arrowverse version. This is a custom figure. This is a decal that I found off the internet. I feel like everything else, people probably know where it's from. I think this face, though, is from some Prince of Persia set. That's probably the only thing that I could imagine people not knowing where something's from. But yeah, he used to have more of the faded green on his face, sort of like in Season 1 of Arrow, how he had the grease paint on as a mask around his eyes kind of thing. But that has faded over time. I tried to put it back, but it didn't really look that great. But yeah. Alright, so next we have the Arrowverse version of the Atom, or Ray Palmer. This is a great figure, very reasonably priced. The printing or the paint job on it, I think it's a paint job, is very detailed, very well done. And especially on the legs, very accurate, and on the back, very accurate to the actual suit that the actor wears on the show, or wore on the show. I haven't seen Arrow in a few seasons. But yeah, just an overall great figure. I would highly recommend this, and if I ever make a DC Legends or another DC Legends episode, I will for sure use this version. And yeah. So this is the Arrowverse version of Firestorm. This actual costume was for the second version of Firestorm. The name of him is slipping my mind at the moment. I feel like it started with a D, but I don't remember. But this I put on the face and hands of Ronnie Raymond, because that is the version that I have used in videos, and should I make a video that has to do with Firestorm, I will use Ronnie Raymond, of course. But yeah, again, very accurate to the show, great printing on the back and front and on the arms, and yeah, just overall great figure. Alright, this one is one of my favorites because of the previous version of Blue Beetle that I had, the custom that I had. If you guys have seen that, it was really not good, especially compared to this figure. This is great, has printing on the arms and on the back as well. My only complaint about it is the really exaggerated smile that he has on his face all the time. There's no like second head or anything. He always has this really goofy smile on, and I feel like that's not totally accurate to Blue Beetle's character. I feel like Ted Kord is a bit more of a serious guy, but still, you know, despite that, still a great figure, and one that I would for sure use in videos in the future. Next we have one of the best friends of Ted Kord, Booster Gold. This is a really great figure. My complaint with this one is similar to the Blue Beetle one, in that their mouths should almost be switched. Like Booster Gold is more that kind of smiley personality, happy all the time kind of thing, or at least trying to seem happy all the time. And I feel like Blue Beetle is a bit more of a serious guy, so I feel like their mouths should be switched almost. But other than that, a great figure. The print, or the paint, I guess, whatever it is, chipping a little bit on the foot. It's not exactly aligned on the torso here, the yellow, but I don't think that's very, very noticeable. I think it's still a great figure all around, and again, very reasonably priced. All of these figures are very reasonably priced. I don't think I've ever spent more than maybe $10 on a figure. And next up we have the comic version of Shazam. I really like this figure. It's simple, but it is pretty comic accurate, and I think it just looks really, really great. You know, I just really like the look of it. The face especially, I really like. It's a very unique face to Shazam, and I feel like it really captures his sort of personality well. And this is for when he kind of shouts Shazam or whatever. But yeah, a really great figure. However, I like his enemies figure better. Alright, so here is here is Shazam's enemies figure, Black Adam. This is a really great figure, really detailed and also comic accurate. Have on the boots and on the arms and everything, and even on the torso, have a little blue sort of lightning in it. And the detail continues on the back of the figure. What I also really like about this is the face. I feel like, again, it has a kind of unique personality about it, but also the other side of the face. So on the other side of the face, there's this lightning sort of thing coming out of his eyes, which is really cool if you want to use it in certain scenes. But yeah, just a really great figure, and yeah. Alright, we're switching things up a little bit with a Deadpool from the Ryan Reynolds movie version. This is a pretty good figure as well. The printing on the eyes is a little bit faded, but I still think it looks good. I used this in my Deadpool versus Moon Knight video. I've seen that there's another version of this figure that I think costs like somewhere around $40. But it has a lot more solid kind of colors in it. So if you don't want to spend that much, if you don't want to spend $40 on a Lego figure, this is for sure the way to go. I think it's fairly durable, and it looks awesome as well. So yeah, and also link to Deadpool vs. Moon Knight in the description. All right, next up we have Colossus of the X-Men. This is a pretty cool figure, pretty detailed all around. It has the stripes sort of thing, of the metal texture of Colossus all around him. I feel like the eyes, or the whole face in general, is just printed a little bit too far down on the face. If it was moved up a little bit, I think it would look nicer. The printing on the arms isn't exactly symmetrical. If you see the lines go farther up on this arm than on this one. But overall, still a cool figure, and yeah. So while we're doing X-Men, here is Cyclops, the comic accurate version. The printing on the torso, I think, looks pretty good. The printing on the legs is a little bit sloppy in my opinion. But overall, still a cool figure. I used this in Lego Avengers, or how Lego Avengers Endgame should have ended, where the X-Men make an appearance. But yeah, still a cool figure to use in videos. So earlier I said we were done with Justice Society. I misspoke there. This is I guess a custom, you could say, of Hourman. I just took different parts of Lego figures and put them together. This is Sinestro's legs. This torso is from some sort of Star Wars figure, some pilot, I think. This face is from the Lone Ranger, or a Lone Ranger set, and I feel like everything else you could probably find out, where that's from. But I feel like this still bears enough resemblance that if I used it in a video, people would recognize who it is, and it would look still okay. So yeah, it's Hourman. So next we're back to Marvel here with a really wacky figure. Loki, comic accurate Loki. There's no printing on the back, however, but still the arms and the front and his sort of ridiculous helmet. I think it looks ridiculous but awesome at the same time, because it's really loyal to the classic look of Loki in the Thor comics. I kind of just got this just because I thought it looked really fun, kind of thing. I don't really plan on using it in videos. But yeah. So next we have the alleged villain of the Birds of Prey movie, Black Mask. I really hope that they make Black Mask look like this in the movie. But the face looks really cool. I think it looks just like the comics or the Arkham Origins version. I really like his suit, the stripes on it, and the stripes are printed on the back as well. I plan to use this suit in Moon Knight, but for none of the figures or none of the characters already brought into the series, rather, it will be for a new character, so I'll let you guys guess who that will be in the comic, or in the comments, and also link to my Moon Knight series in the description. Alright, so next we have a Flash figure, or unofficial figure of the Flash. I think what really makes this figure awesome is the helmet. This is the face of Captain America. You can really put any face you want there. I think the torso looks cool. I don't really know if it looks better than the official Flash torso, but I think it looks still pretty cool. I like the boots on it, but I still think that the helmet is the best part of it, and I like how you can take off the I guess earpieces, although I don't know why you would want to. But yeah, I think that just really makes the figure look awesome. So next up we have more of an obscure figure of Marvel. This character is called the Profile. He's featured in my Moon Knight series already, and he will be shown further in the series. I will leave a link to the Moon Knight series, or to my Moon Knight series, in the description. I think I already said that, but yeah, this is a pretty cool figure if you're familiar with the look of the Profile. So yeah. Alright, so this is the last figure before the Spider-Man black suit custom. This is a Black Canary figure. This is kind of just taken a Black Widow torso, I think even a Black Widow face, and just random other parts kind of thing. Partly inspired by the Arrowverse version and partly inspired by the comic, sort of a blend of the two of them. And if I make a third DC Legends episode, this is the figure I'll use for it. Alright, so this is the figure that I teased at the beginning of the video, the Spider-Man Far From Home black suit custom. I think it looks pretty clean. It's a pretty simple custom, but I really think that it looks pretty crisp, and it looks I think it looks good. If you couldn't tell how I made it, I just took the Spider-Man figure that was already released, and just wherever I saw blue, I just markered it with black. But I did not do the arms. I think that would have been a little bit too complicated, and it probably would have smudged, so I just used solid black arms. If you look closely, you can see on certain portions of the figure, say like where the legs of this spider on the back is, a little bit sloppy there, and the line across on the bottom, where I think this is, it's a little bit sloppy there, and on the boot there, it's not as clean as on this side. This side is very clean. This side is, however, not so much. But other than that, I think it looks pretty good. I think it's definitely usable in a video. Thank you guys so much for watching. If you made it until the end of the video, please give this video a like, and please consider subscribing to help the channel. It really does help me produce more and more videos for you guys. Please also leave any questions down below if you had any questions about anything that I said in the video. Links to all the animations that I mentioned in this video will be also linked in the description, and also a link to AkashLegoProductions' custom minifigure showcase video that he is also releasing today. There will be a link to that in the description as well. So I hope you guys enjoyed, and I'll see you next time.